All right, going to take you through some guidance from Edge Guidance System, which is a system that helps administrators look at policy decisions when it comes to student behavior. We're going to go through one that is a first offense of a sixth grader getting caught on a test cheating off a student in his class. The student is looking at a 0 on the exam for a decision by this administration. They're looking at a lunch detention and a call home to parents. Let's see what the guidance says on this. So right now it's going to look at all Iowa, all federal, all school board, any school handbooks, policies, everything, and it's going to give you a summary of the incident. It's going to give you any legal permissibility of the proposed response, so if you're in the right or wrong on your response. Then it's going to give you the recommended response. So the combination it's saying is great. Those are perfectly appropriate for this. It even cites the policy in play. It gives you some other ideas like restorative conversations, maybe take the exam supervised, a lunch detention, but no 0 on the exam. Then it gives you steps to follow exactly so you enforce it correctly. Gives you other citations of the legalities. And then it gives you some human ideas of what you should really maybe take a look at to make sure we're making a good decision from a human perspective. And then right here, it writes up an email ready to go out to the parents. Pretty nice stuff if I was an administrator, which I have been, and I would love to have had this for the last 20 years. All right, let's take another look at Edge Guidance, supporting administrators with policy decisions. Here's one about bullying in Title IX. We've got a 7th grade student who has been getting bullied by 3 other students. There's even a situation here of possibly photos being taken in the locker room without her permission. And so the current decision is a 1-day in-school suspension for each of the 3 students, a parent meeting, and a verbal warning. You can see that there's student flags for Title IX possibilities and bullying. Let's see what Edge Guidance System says. Again, it's looking at all the possible codes from Iowa, federal, any school board or state or local school policies. Right now, it immediately goes into an escalation recommendation. So it needs to be escalated up to the Title IX coordinator. You have some protective processes that need to be activated. Gives you a summary of the situation again, any legality of the permissible response that they're looking at doing, and then it gives you the recommendation options. So definitely looking at initiating formal code 280.28 on bullying harassment in Title IX. Then it's got some other options, implementing immediate safety plan, interim consequences, suspension pending investigation. Here's where a great spot is again, all the steps you need to follow. Then it cites the sources of what it pulled it from to make sure you're following good cited sources. Gives you that human judgment part again, some things that somebody needs to really look at before any decisions are made. And then it also writes up another email for the parent side of things to make those nice and easy for an administrator to at least get the bones going for the email process for when that time comes. Pretty nice again. All right, let's look at our third and final one. This is about an 8th grade student who does have an IEP and has an active BIP. The student got into it with a paraprofessional and ended up making physical contact and used profanity. And so currently the school is looking at a 5-day out-of-school suspension for physical aggression towards staff and insubordination. And so let's see what the active guidance says about this. Again, it's going to look at all the policies. This student has been suspended earlier in the year, so it's nice that this is going to happen right here. It already escalates it for recommended. The process of 5-day suspension would bring the student to 12 cumulative removal days, exceeding the 10-day threshold under IDEA. So it also then goes right into the protective active processes, the IEP, the BIP, any of those other parts. It gives you a summary again, the legalities, and then it gives you the recommended responses. Conduct manifestation determination, review immediately, in-school support, short-term removal, full 5-day suspension, and emergency safety removal. So it kind of talks about each one and what the legalities would kind of be, or what the source of policy would be for that. And then you've got your steps to follow. Again, I can't overstate how great of a situation this would be for an administrator to follow these steps to make sure they're implementing it correctly. And then you've got the discipline and policy citations from the state, federal, and school board related. Here's your human accuracy part to make sure we're doing some judgment as humans and not depending on the AI to make the determinations. And again, another email ready to go for a parent in this situation. So another big heavy lift off of an administrator's back when it comes to these very difficult decisions that pop up on us consistently. Hope these helped, and I'm really excited about working with you and your administrative team to put this into play within your school or your school district.